All right, it's 6 o'clock, so we'll start the board meeting. All members except for Mr. Brad Whitrock are present. He is on vacation. So item B, discussion action on handbook policy for personal electronic devices policy for fiscal year 2025-2026.
If you'll look back on your printed agenda, should be behind the addendums.
Mm-hmm.
That's our policy that we've come up with. This is pretty much a straight shot type OSSBA policy that we approved last month, except it does give some emergency exemptions that have to be brought to the district's attention before the student can have their electronic device at school, such as like a diabetes monitor, if you've got some kind of heart monitor or something like that. We need to know about that. It does restrict the use of Apple Watches and stuff like that as well, because that's also in the policy that the state passed, that the legislature passed. We're going to work with parents as hard as we can. I've had a lot of guys say that they want to go get those, they're looking at those
The pouches.
the pouches with the magnets in them. And that's one more thing for a kid to keep hold of. And for us to keep hold of. And, you know, our kids are pretty well behaved for the most part. And I think what we probably need to do is probably need to try this for this year, see how it works out, and see what happens with the policies we move forward. It gives us some wiggle room here. I mean, it is a bell-to-bell policy, and we state the law at the top of it. So we've got this ready, we've got this put up pending board approval, and
Now this is, I assume that most of the schools around us are adopting something very similar to this, or almost word for word.
And some of them are going with the pouches. There's people that are going more restrictive and going gun ho, and then there's people that are trying to even go less.
Okay.
I saw Oklahoma City's, and it was the same exact thing, except for there was no outline of disciplinary action.
And that's something we've always tried to put in our handbook so that everybody knows there's discipline involved with this if you're going to keep taking my time.
I had somebody ask me, well, how am I going to text my lunch buddies? I go, you'll have to do it like I did when I was in school. You got to go find them.
Yeah.
You're actually going to have to talk to people.
Yeah.
So do you see lots of parents making phone calls to talk to their kids or send messages to their kids during the day? Does that?
I think every parent is guilty of that. I've caught my own daughter doing that with her daughter, and it's, you know, it is what it is.
I think
we
it's
live in
more
a digital
directed at
society.
Well, will they
looking up
wait
answers.
till?
Yeah.
You know, using it for
Well, I think.
intelligence rather than
I think-
communication.
Well, I think this was even used, I think this is even more at how disruptive the cell phones can be. I mean, back in I think it was mid-'80s, they came out with the pager policies. And they came back to them again in the early 90s whenever the pagers became a problem with gangs or whatever. Mass menace.
I remember my son's pager getting taken away from him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's an evolution that we go through every now and then.
Yep.
Will
So-
this make any difference?
Is that something the principals will decide? Is when notes get taken to kids that they need to call their parents? I mean, they won't get called out of class constantly to go.
No, they'll get messages. We'll go back to the procedures that we used to for the end of the day or
Before we had cell phones.
before we had cell phones,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we still have those procedures.
And it worked
in-
fine, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can still send your kid a text that when he gets out of school and he turns his phone on, because that's the first thing they're going to do is turn it on.
Oh, well, yeah.
And it says, go to, or go do this. And they're still going to get the text.
Yeah.
They're just not going to get it at 2 o'clock. They're going to get it
I know.
at 3:15 or 3:30 whenever they're out
Or
of
you have a
class.
dentist appointment or this or that.
Yeah, so I mean, they're still going to get it. It's just
Lots
not
of
going to get
things.
it during the day.
What the one thing that worries me about this is, one reservation is parents are, it's a safety blanket to a certain extent to know where your kids are and know what's going on. And sometimes it helps me because I get to know what's going on because I have people that tell me what the kids are texting. But if there is, somewhere there's, in one of the states, there's going to be something bad that happens, and it's going to come back to these electronic device policies are bad, and we'll see something happen.
So a change from the state legislature, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the best policy we could come up with,
Okay.
and it'll be enacted across the whole district.
Any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the policy as written.
I'll second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion is passed. Okay, the Kingfisher Board of Education met in executive session on 7/8/2025. The board members consisting of Charles Walker, Dana Gobeck, Bill Wright, and Mike Copeland. We entered into executive session at 6:07 and returned to open session at 7 o'clock. The matters as listed on the board agenda were considered in the executive session, and no other matters were discussed. No board actions were taken in executive session. F, discussion of possible action to approve addendum A.
I'd like to recommend Sarah Delatorre Conrady for the junior high cashier and secretary position.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed. Discussion of possible action to approve addendum B.
Last month, or last meeting, whenever we approved the extra duty contracts, I left Melody Kuhn off for extra duty on robotic and STEM.
I'll second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Discussion to set date and time for a special board meeting on July 23rd, 2025 at 6 o'clock at the 6 p.m. at the administrative offices.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand.
I guess I'll
Motion, you're not there.
Yeah.
Dana, aye.
Oh, I, yes, I'm sorry, letter I. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, raise your hand. We are adjourned at 7:01.